Features of evidence. So in this presentation, we're talking about evidence for assessment of competence in vocational education and training programs. Remember, evidence can take many forms, including demonstration of tasks, simulations, portfolios of work, written question answers, case studies, essays, projects, or tests. Often a combination of evidence is needed as evidence of competence. So there are 5 features of evidence: that it's valid, authentic, current, reliable, and sufficient. And we'll go over what each of these means in relation to what the assessor is actually looking for when they're assessing your competence. So is it valid? The assessor will look at your evidence, so your assessments, and determine, is it relevant? Does it relate to the unit's requirements? So is it answering what's been asked? Does it show competence in a range of contexts? So for example, if we were talking a barista course, that you can use a variety of different sorts of coffee machines. Is it authentic? The assessor will look at your evidence and determine, is it your own work, not copied from somebody else, not shared. It's actually generally an offence to share work with others. People think they're helping people out, but they're not. They could be getting the other student and themselves in big trouble. You can help someone out, I guess, with your notes if they miss a class, so that they can catch up for themselves, but not with your actual assessment item. So making sure it's not someone else's work, not taken from the internet. If there was a group project, what contribution did you make, or did each member make? Are any documents, licenses, references that are required legitimate? Is it current? The assessor will look at the evidence and determine, does it show you can perform the role now? Not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago. Does it meet current industry standards? My example there is in relation to childcare. Current factors, aspects that we look for are the use of the Early Years Learning Framework over on the right of the slide here, that the National Quality Standard on the left, and that it's reflecting current practices, play-based, often nature-based, use of natural materials and real hands-on experiences. Is it reliable? So, is it consistent with the other evidence that you've presented? Is it accurate? Does it answer the questions correctly? Is it sufficient? The assessor will look at the evidence and determine, is there enough evidence? Have they seen your competence demonstrated in a number of different ways that they're satisfied that you definitely are competent in the unit? Does it cover the full range of outcomes required in the unit? And does it show competence on more than one occasion? So for my example here would be horticulture, and showing abilities in a variety of different garden type settings. You can tell where my experience is, can't you? Not in gardening. And that's all. So that's what we're talking about. It sounds very formal, features of evidence, but basically the assessor, which is often the trainer, but not always, is looking for those 5 considerations